What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to make a quick sort of impromptu video about the dormancy habits of Venus flytraps. Now, with Venus flytraps, a lot of people get super concerned because they're one of those carnivorous plants that when they hit dormancy, they make a lot of changes. And so if you're a new grower, that can really be concerning. And so what I want to do in this video is dispel some of those concerns for you and just talk you through what you can expect and what you should see here in about November. Now, it's going to be different depending on your location and how cold it is, your light levels, and so let's talk through that. Now, Venus flytraps are a temperate carnivorous plant, and so they are going to want dormancy. And the cool thing about Venus flytraps is they will actually change the way that they looked and even act depending on what time of year it is. Now, with this Venus flytrap, you'll see they have some taller traps, and those are known as summer traps or spring traps. The spring traps usually come in during spring, and the summer ones are a little bit longer, and then they'll come in, and as you can see, they can last all the way into fall and longer. Now, there's a different trap that they get, and that is their winter traps, and that is what this little rosette looks like here. Now, it's important to note that not all Venus flytraps react the same way. Now, all these here in front of you are were rescues from like big box stores at Lowe's, and so they're going to be all different tissue cultures of different Venus flytraps. The reason why I'm telling you that is they're all in the same element, they're all dealing with the same temperatures, the same sun, everything is exactly the same, but as you can see, some are keeping their summer traps significantly longer than some that have decided to go into that winter traps or that rosetted form. And this is perfectly okay. Each of these plants, depending on where they came from, tissue culture, are going to act differently. Now, while there's only one Venus flytrap type actual in the wild, they have been bred and crossbred, and so all of them have taken on different genetic traits. And even in the typicals, you're going to see these genetic traits that are going to be different. Like you'll notice some of them are very, very red, while some of them have remained very like a light orange to yellow, and then some are very much just a green yellow. And that is all based on that genetic variability through crossbreeding. Now, a lot of people start to freak out. Let's talk through what actually happens first stage all the way to end stage. So the very first thing you're going to start to notice is a lot of those spring traps or summer traps are going to start to turn black on you. And you'll see here, and they'll start from the trap and they'll work their way down. And that can be very alarming for people, and people will think, oh no, I've done something wrong, like there's some sort of crown rot or something's going on. That is completely normal. As a matter of fact, that's normal throughout the entire life cycle of a Venus flytrap. They are going to have what's called a high leaf turnover ratio. It takes a lot of energy to keep these traps going, and so if the leaf of the plant rather doesn't need the nutrients, or it's gotten what it needs, it's going to kill off that leaf, and so that it doesn't have to keep supplying so much energy to it. Now, once it hits dormancy and it starts going through this little cycle change, which is there's about 3 of them in the year of a Venus flytrap, it's going to kill them off in mass. And so you'll start to see them all dying off. Here's a perfect example of that. You can see all the long ones, those are their spring or summer traps, and they're all dying off. And in its place has grown all of these rosetted traps, or low to the ground winter traps. Now, that's the first stage you're going to see. You're going to start to see that die off, and it's going to be replaced. The second stage is that replacement. As you look at this one right here, this is DCXL. You can see that it is fully in that rosetted stage, and so it has already gotten rid of all of its winter traps. One thing you can do, by the way, just a helpful tip, is go ahead and pull all these dead traps off, and that'll help keep fungus at bay. So that's the second stage. You're going to sort of get this winter trap. The other thing you're going to notice is that your Venus flytraps are going to slow down. And depending on how cold it is, or how much sunlight rather, is probably a bigger indicator for this particular thing. Your Venus flytraps aren't going to be as fast as they are when they have a lot of light and they have all that energy. And so they're going to be a little bit slower when they close. See how lethargic that is closing? Now, normally that would be indicative of a unhealthy plant. But this time of year, a lot of these low-growing rosetted traps are simply there just to help gather a little bit of sunlight to help give that rhizome energy throughout the winter. Now, they can catch some ground-dwelling prey, but for the most part, they're going to just kind of be there. And so don't get alarmed if you start to see them get lethargic. Now, if you are in a very cold environment, you can expect almost a complete dieback of the leaves. And so don't freak out if that happens if you're in a much colder environment, because I'm in Florida. This is about as far back as they're going to get. They might get a little bit worse come January, but for the most part, this is what you're going to get. And they will stay this way for quite some time until spring comes and the temperatures warm up and the light starts to come back out for longer periods of the day. And then they will take all that stored energy and burst forward with a bunch of new spring trap growth. So not one size fits all when it comes to Venus flytraps in pretty much any part of their journey, but especially in their dormancy period. Now, when it comes to watering, just a helpful tip here, you'll notice here that they are not sitting in any water. Now, if you're in a very, very cold environment, you can have them sitting in water, and that will help protect the rhizome from freezing. But because I'm here in Florida, I have no worry of that. The point is you want to keep the soil moist still, but I don't want to keep it terribly wet because there isn't a lot of sunshine to help cook off that water, and I don't want those rhizomes sort of sitting and rotting. So you got to look at the zones that you're in and make sure that you're giving it the kind of care that it needs. And so during the summer, you're going to want them to be sitting in water, obviously. During the winter, you can have them get a little bit drier, still keep the soil moist, don't let the soil dry out, and they will be just fine. I hope this video has helped maybe dispel some concerns, some ill rumors that you might have heard. These are amazing plants. If you haven't yet started collecting them, I highly recommend them. I hope you have a wonderful day.